So this is the Royal Enfield Kengeri Showroom. For some safety measure, they have kept this hand sanitizer. Hello people, today we have this new Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 BS6 model with us. I'll be telling you what are the difference between the BS6 and BS4 model. They have reduced the power to 0.2 PS, that is before it was like 45.65 bhp power, now it's like 45.45 bhp. It's like a 0.2 PS power. Royal Enfield have made it very classic, brilliant to this vehicle, and I don't feel any sort of power reductions in this bike. So first we'll be checking out the exhaust sound, whether the sound has been decreased or increased in the BS6 model compared to the BS4. Now the bike is in neutral. Okay, now the bike is in neutral now. There is no any sort of sound reductions in the BS6 model. In the Royal Enfield Classic 350 or Himalayan, you can see the catalytic converter placed outside, but in this Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, the catalytic converter is placed inside the exhaust, so we will not be able to see that. But there is no any sort of sound reductions in this vehicle. I thought that maybe in the BS6 model the sound will be reduced and the bass sound or that whistle sound will be reduced, but there is no any sort of whistle sound reduction or that bass sound reduction. It's actually good. The Royal Enfield have maintained that sound in this BS6 model too. And then coming to the suspension is really very good and very comfortable to ride in the city conditions where you find the potholes in the Indian roads. So this is very well suitable for the Indian roads as well as in the highways. You don't feel any sort of stress or something while riding in the highway too or in the potholes. You feel much comfortable while riding this vehicle. The suspension setup is really good. And coming to the race suspension is little bit I feel that it's not good, but while riding in the highway you feel that most comfortable suspension in the Royal Enfield is this Interceptor 650. It's so smooth, and there is no any sort of LED light changes in the front headlight and the back as well. This is the purely retro style. While riding in the highway or in the city conditions, you can easily shift the gears. There is no any sort of false neutral or nothing. The gear shifts very perfectly and very smoothly in this bike. So coming to the height, my height is around like 5'11", and this bike is very comfortable for me. So for the people around like 5'7" to 6 feet or 6 feet above, this bike will be very comfortable and very easily to ride. And the riding position, you can see the riding position is very good. You can ride this bike for some long continuous stretches in highway. You don't feel any sort of stress. The riding position is neatly good compared to the GT. GT is some sort of cafe racer, so that you feel some sort of back pain in the GT, but Interceptor is really good. The riding position is really good. You can see the angle also, and the mirrors are placed in the very right position so that you can see the vehicles which are coming at your back. So this is also very good. And in the tachometer, there is no any sort of updations in the tachometer. It's just a RPM meter and the trip meter and the fuel gauge meter and the speedometer. So that is all, right? And you can see the button in this where you can change between the trip modes and reset the trip mode. So that is only the button. So there is the high beam, low beam, and the indicators and the horn. The horn sound is really great. It's very loud too, and you can see the engine kill switch, and then you can see the ignition switch also. The clutch is really the clutch part is really good while holding also. If you are holding it for some long time, you may feel some sort of pain, but that is not for all the persons. If your hand is bit high and if you are very comfortable in riding this motorcycles daily, you don't feel that pain. It gets easily attached with your bike. So that is also, and this is also a dual channel ABS, and the price depends upon the color also. I'll be telling at the last what are the prices for the different colors. I'll be explaining all that in the last. So now we'll take this bike for the long highway stretch, and we'll be checking out the powers and the comfortable, how it is to ride, and the acceleration, and about the initial acceleration and the top speed of this bike. Later I'll be telling you how it was and how the feel was in this bike. Talking about the initial acceleration. So just watch the RPM meter. Gear itself, it touched the 7k RPM. That was really good, and you can see that if it touches the 7k RPM, the initial acceleration is very good, and the Royal Enfield has made the brilliant initial acceleration in this bike for the 650cc twin cylinder. Abhishek was the one who was sitting with me for the Pillion comfort, to check the Pillion comfort. So he's from Royal Enfield Showroom, Abhishek. So Abhishek, how was the comfort?
Yeah, it's really good. I don't feel any back pain and backrest.
It was really good, right? They don't feel any sort of stress or back pain. It's really good for them. You can see that Abhishek told me he didn't feel any sort of stress or any sort of back pain. He felt very comfortable in this bike. So this bike is very comfortable for Pillion as well as the rider who is riding this bike also is actually good. The Royal Enfield has made this bike very proper for all type of people who are looking for budget also and who are looking for more fuel injection. I mean the more mileage also, and the people who are looking for power also. This. So if you are thinking about the power has been decreased in the BS6 model, no, it's not. The power has not been decreased in the BS6 model. I've rode the BS4 model around like 2 weeks back, and the power was same compared to the BS4 model. I don't feel any sort of power reductions in this BS6 model. The Royal Enfield have made the BS6 norms very perfectly, and they have maintained this bike for according to the BS6 very perfectly and the brilliant. The bike is also very good. So if you are looking for a twin cylinder above 500cc model bikes, this bike will be very perfectable and very suitable for your conditions for mileage, and also it also gives the more acceleration, and the initial acceleration is also very good. I'll be telling you all about the prices and colors at the last. You can check about that. And there is some sort of discount running in this Royal Enfield showroom Kengeri for this particular month. So if you're getting any sort of Royal Enfield bikes in this showroom, you will be getting the discount up to 10,000 for any coupons or something like that. So it's a nice deal for this month. You can go and get this bike or any other Royal Enfield bikes in the showroom Kengeri. So this is a perfect bike, I say. Price list for Interceptor 650, standard, special, custom. There is a price for Continental GT2, special and custom, you can see. So see you all in the next vlog. Until then, bye.